Big Mountain is some people, it's their favorite DLC. It's my least favorite of the New Vegas DLCs. But it's interesting, and you can get through it like really quick if you don't feel like doing everything.
Yeah, I mean, I usually do a lot of it because it makes me laugh.
It's funny, it's wacky, it's humorous. I just don't like it. That first opening dialogue of 40, when I streamed it, it was like 45 minutes of dialogue. Like, if you go find the NCR Chuck, I don't even remember what episode. I want to say it's like episode 11, maybe. It's me going, oh my God, get on with it. If there was a mod that I would want one that would change the face like in Fallout 4, so I can at least see who's speaking. Like, just to make it dynamic instead of just looking at Klein the whole time.
Lobotomite.
But since we're at Big Mountain, it's time that we talk about Dr. Mobius.
I like Mobius.
I do too, and that's my thing that I get like upset about with Old World Blues is that I like the voice acting. I like how Dr. O is Dr. Venture. Like, I like a lot of it, and it's so bogged down by it being an Old World Blues. I also don't like calling Big Mountain the Big MT.
The Big Empty.
I don't know. So let's just jump right into it. Dr. Mobius is in a think tank operating the Big Mountain in 2281. He is the leader of the Robo-Scorpion army and nemesis of Dr. Klein and the team which he belonged to. Again, the Robo-Scorpions a lot of this DLC doesn't feel very Fallout-y to me. It's got great writing, though. Like, don't get me wrong. Dr. Mobius was one of... I get all my lore off of Fallout.fandom.com. When we do these big characters like this, I want to make sure I get everything. I don't write anything wrong, because I do have the dyslexia. And I read right from the wiki. Dr. Mobius was one of the Big Mountain think tank executives before the Great War. Sometime after the war, he became a think tank in order to continue his work at the Big Mountain. Like the others, he forgot part of his personality and his real name due to a recursion loop in their new perception programming. After the escape of the Cazadors and the Night Stalkers, Mobius became disillusioned with the methods of the others in the think tank. He grew tired of the endless and horrible experimentation and was deeply afraid of the damage the amoral and psychosis-ridden think tanks would wreak upon the fragile post-apocalyptic world in the name of science. He erected a radar fence, a kind of radar-guided repulsion field around the perimeter of Big Mountain to prevent the disembodied brains from escaping into the wasteland. After a severe dispute with Klein, Mobius removed all of the chips of the personalities in the sink, his room and personal laboratory. I'm gonna call it that the whole time too. I'm not gonna say laboratory. I'm gonna say laboratory because Dexter's Lab is a great show and I love it. And against their will, hacked the databanks of his colleagues, reprogramming their chronometers, geometers, and cartography programs, making them lose sense of history, time, and the world beyond the Big Mountain. To the point that they now believe the Big Mountain is the world and nothing else beyond its mountainous boundaries exist. He also actively fostered the false notion that the Robo-Scorpions are somehow able to consume intelligence from brains, fueling the think tank's fear of leaving the Big Mountain's central dome. In the process of making these alterations, though, he also damaged some of their memories and knowledge, leaving only mangled, disjointed versions behind. Disgusted to have done this to his friends, he also erases some sections of his own memory, this event, and the his pre-war creation, the Robo-Scorpion, before exiling himself. Afterwards, Mobius moved to the X-42 Robo Welfare Facility, which he has renamed the Forbidden Zone, and began to recreate the Robo-Scorpions inspired by Rad Scorpions. These new versions included all features of the pre-war model, such as an energy bolt blaster in the tail, highly sensitive robotic eyes, and communication systems connected directly to his stronghold. Now in possession of a proper army, Mobius decided that without something to distract the other think tanks, the radar fence would eventually become insufficient to contain them. He began to send repetitive, threatening broadcasts designed to instill fear and prompt the think tank to focus on retrieving technologies with which to defend themselves. With the remaining think tank trapped in the central dome, with the exaggerated fear of Mobius, the big mountain fell mostly silent. Although not originally aggressive in his intentions, Mobius's own behavior seemed to have degraded over the years, likely in part due to an increasingly serious addiction to Mentads and Psycho.
If you do drugs, you just kind of become crazy.
Yeah. Did you know that Psycho was pre-war?
Was it?
I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check that I'm here. When I was streaming it, I found out the actual link. I just clicked on Psycho. The actual link for Psycho is, I was probably tripping hard on Psycho when I sent that, Mobius.
That's funny.
Wow. Yeah. Military-grade psychosis-inducing amphetamine. It was there during the Great Constantine Chase, and it entered combat use during the final stages of the Anchorage Reclamation. Yeah. It's in Alaska. Yeah, it's a pre-war drug. I had no clue. I learned when I was playing New Vegas.
Cool.
By 2281, he had not only lost the function. Sorry, by 2281, he had not only lost the functionality of his right eye monitor, but also began to suffer from short-term memory loss, hallucinations, and obsessive-compulsive behavior. Although his plan had been mostly successful, the recent arrival of Father Elijah, Christine, and Ulysses from the Mojave caused the curiosity of the think tank to begin pursuing beyond the boundaries he had set for them. The arrival of the courier and the subsequent survival of their lobotomy proved to be the last straw. Mobius unleashed a fresh wave of Robo-Scorpions and announced his false intentions to finish the other think tank off once and for all, while subliminally suggesting to them that various technologies around Big Mountain would help them against it. These technologies are a sonic emitter, the X2 antenna, and the Stealth Suit Mark II are all actually components required to rehouse a brain inside of. Eventually, the courier defeats the X-42 giant Rad Scorpion and enters the Forbidden Dome to confront Mobius.
I like Mobius.
That's really it, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm really upset that there's not more
Mobius.
There's not more pre-war stuff that I could find. Like in general, I can't find there's not in-game, I can't find. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that seems just to be it.
Yeah. What Mobius...
Do you know what the name Mobius is a reference to?
No, I don't. Is it in the notes?
It's in behind the scenes, but I already knew this.
Oh.
So the name is a direct reference to the Mobius strip, which is a 3D object that topolography has only one side.
I think I know what that is. I think that's the bar with the circles, with the cylinders.
Have you ever been to my campus before?
Yeah, once, but dude, I don't remember. Oh, I know what that is.
It's the thing that's on that statue.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I looked it up. I know what that is. I didn't know it was called so that's a recursion loop.
No, this is just a Mobius strip.
No, but I'm saying it's a loop.
It's a loop, but it's
Yeah.
only
What is it
it's like a
used for?
one-sided thing.
Are common in the manufacturing of fabric computer printers and typewriter ribbons. As they let the ribbon be twice as wide as they print head while using both halves of it evenly. Neat.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about the Mobius strip. He probably just talks down to you for 15 minutes and then does it real quick. All right, we get it. You got a bigger brain than me. Let's see. What else is here? To the notes. Here's some fun facts. Mobius has a tendency for
Malapropisms.
malapropisms. Okay. For example, instead of saying reason, quiet, and desert, he'll say raisin, quiet, and dessert. It's like the Rugrats. You know what I mean? He also suggests to differentiate between other words and names such as custard and mustard. Mobius programmed the Sync Central Intelligence Unit to accept bottle caps. Dr. O believes they were added in as a debug code, though Dr. Dallas states that Mobius was obsessed with what the post-war economy would be like and correctly predicted that bottle caps would have become valued currency post-war.
He was also responsible for the creation of all of the sync intelligences, except for Muggy. Muggy was created by Dr. O.
Dr. Mobius was inspired by Dr. Edward Morbius, the antagonist in the 1956 science film Forbidden Planet, as well as the name of his base was inspired by the name of the film. He also references it in dialogue. The murderous gang of thugs that he said once went looking for a spine, heart, and a brain, but had them all along is a reference to the Frank L. Baum's book, The Wizard of Oz. The thugs are in reference to the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, respectively.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
If the player has taken Wild Wasteland, Mobius will mention keeping several Plan 9s in place, which is a reference to the cult classic and 1959 science fiction horror film Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Have you ever seen Plan 9?
I have not. Have you?
Neither have I, but it's the worst. It's the worst movie ever made. We
should watch it.
We should watch it as a burner when we do movie reviews. Let me see if I can find a Blu-ray of it.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
I like the next one too.
Read it.
The song Dr. Mobius occasionally sings in his lab, electrons attached to the neutrons attached to the mesons connected to the proton, is a reference to the spiritual song Dem Bones. The leg bone is connected to the knee bone is connected to the thigh bone, etc., etc.
His farewell dialogue, "Please mind the equations on the floor," is a reference to the Greek scientist and engineer Archimedes, who was killed by a Roman legionary during the Second Punic War, purportedly because he was angry and shouted out to the legionaries who unintentionally stepped over the mathematical writings on the ground, "Do not disturb my circles." If asked about a non-violent way to deal with the think tank, Mobius will suggest appealing to their humanity, mentioning how a wise man once said that the eyes do more than see. This is likely reference to a short story, Eyes Do More Than See, by Isaac Asimov. Okay, it didn't tell me anything about the story, though.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Neither am I. That's Mobius.
I like his little icon for what he looked like before the think tank.
That dude fucks.
Yeah.
That mustache. Hell yeah.
That's like a Karl Marx looking ass mustache.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah. That's it. You want to talk about... Do you think Mobius is the good guy or the bad guy?
I don't think he's... I feel like everyone at Big Mountain's kind of dubious at best.
Yeah, I think his intentions were pure.
But he also was super high on drugs.
Yeah, dude.
and then tampered with people's memories.
Yeah, dude.
Which is definitely not a great thing to do.
That's something that Hitler would have done. No? Am I wrong?
You gonna look at me and tell me that I'm wrong? Grow up, bro.
What?
Don't worry about it.
What is that from?
It's from that video of and his wicked and his sister was a witch about like the
Oh.
and what was her sister? A princess.
Were
The
they
Wicked
fighting?
Witch of the East, bro.
Yeah, that's Mobius.
I like Mobius. I don't think he's necessarily the bad guy, but he's easy to point at when you're at Big Mountain. Like,
Well, that's why I picked him.
That's the
because
bad one.
We could have did the entire think tank, and I just think that the entire think tank would be fun for a different episode. Where like we can talk about every doctor in the think tank, and they get like 5 minutes to themselves and whatnot. And I just think that Mobius, because he's kind of pointed at as the bad guy, like you said, I thought it'd be fun to
but
kind of
he's
talk
like
about him.
not really that bad.
No, and that's the thing is like the next lore bit that we're going to do is on Nuka World, and I don't know who to do for the bad guy, so I might just talk
Right.
about that because the whole point of the game was to let you become a raider and have fun.
Figure out which clan, yeah.
So like, do I just talk about the 3 groups?
I guess we should probably just talk about the clans, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like Mobius. I like
do too.
Klein for the voice more. But
I like
Mobius. I like Dr. Zero. I like Dr. Zero. I like Venture Brothers. That's lore.
That is lore.